Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In this lecture, we will discuss about how to declare values and variables in JavaScript. Okay, let's start the session. This is the code that we have written in the last lecture, and this is the sum what we have given here. And I am deleting some of the code here. I am deleting this one. And I'm also deleting this one because we don't need this pop-up all the time here. Okay. Now here I am using persons as examples. For example, a person's name or a person's age or a person's job. So like that I am using these examples. But anyway, let's talk about values now. So a value is basically a piece of data. It is the most fundamental unit of information that we have in programming. For example, the text Zeminant is a value. Here, Zeminant is a value. So, and again, if you want to actually see this in the console, let's say here console dot log open parenthesis and here close parenthesis. Okay. If I save and reload here, see, it displays Zeminant in console. And now I'm giving a value here, 25. So I'm giving here console.log open and close parenthesis and then semicolon, and then it's save it and reload. We will see the value here in console. Now one extremely useful thing that we can do with values is to store them into variables. For example, we can say let first name equal Zeminant we are assigning this value to variable. And so we did here is called declaring a variable. Okay. So this is actually creating a real variable in your computer's memory. And we will store this value inside of that variable. And actually that is exactly what we did here right in the beginning. So here we declare a variable called JS. Here we have assigned this good to this variable JS. I forgot to place here colons. And now I need to use this variable to console. So I am writing console.log, and instead of writing literal value, we need to write the variable name here. Then first name. Here save it and then reload. See, here it displayed Zeminant script JS 7. Here line 7 we are getting from what we write here. So here I am changing this name here, Zeminant 1. See, and then reload here. See how it changes the value. So here our variable declaration is working. Here we can use this variable name many times. Simply copy and then paste here as many times we need. give it a save and then reload here. So see the changes, and then here I am changing the name JavaScript, and then save and reload it. See the difference. It will change in the all three places. So this is one of the biggest advantages of variables. Now just very quickly talk about conventions and rules for naming variables, because we shouldn't just give random names to variables. So first, the way that I named this variable here is called camel case, and here I am changing this to small letter first, and then here also we need to change all these small f. So this pattern is called camel case. In a variable, I just write the first word. A variable name in a first word is a lowercase letter, and then after that I am giving the uppercase letter. So like this pattern is called camel case. This is a standard pattern in the JavaScript world, but of course there are other ways of naming variables. For example, we could write first name. I show you first underscore name with an underscore like this. And this is very popular in other languages like Ruby or like this. And you can use whatever you like most. Just keep in mind that it's just kind of a standard JavaScript to write variable names like this. So usually whenever you see other people's code, the variables will usually be written using a camel case notation. So that's kind of a convention of how to name variables in JavaScript. But there are also some actual hard rules in JavaScript about how we can name variables. For example, we cannot write something like this. I will show you. I will show you here. Let I'm giving 3 years equal 3. I'm assigning value 3 to variable. Okay, let's save and reload. See here it displayed an error in console because this 3 years is an illegal variable name, and VS Code automatically warns us right away here and again. That's because this variable starts with a number. Variable name starts with a number, and if we try it to this reload, so this is an invalid or unexpected token here, and it is important to actually start reading these error messages right from the beginning of the course. So we can see that this is so-called syntax error, which means that we did a mistake in writing line 8. So that's the mistake in the code syntax. We can also see the line where the error occurred here. Okay, so in line 8, and we have to fix here. I'm deleting this 3 and then save and reload here. We got an error again in line 7. Here I'm deleting this first name. And then save and reload here. Here we didn't assign the console for this declaration, so I am changing here console years. Okay, and then save and reload here. See how it displayed 3. So what we learned means here the variable names cannot start with a number, and in fact variable names can only contain numbers, letters, underscores or the dollar sign. Okay. Now I will show you one of the important things. Here I am giving let my name equal Maya, and for example I'm giving let new equal 25. I'm assigning here 25 value to new variable. Okay, and then save it and reload here. See, we got an unexpected error, unexpected token new in 16, line number 16. See here, we have taken new. Actually, new is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, as we see all a little bit later. And the same goes for something like I'm giving here function and then reload here. Same unexpected token function. So in this case, if we wanted to fix that, we could, for example, start this variable name with underscore or dollar sign. I'm giving here dollar sign and then reload. So see, it's working now. So that's the only two symbols that are allowed besides letters and numbers. Okay, another variable name that's kind of reserved, but still actually allowed to us is the word name. So we could do this and it would actually work. But in some cases, this creates some problems because again, this is kind of a reserved keyword, but it's still legal to use since it is a keyword. Never call your variables just name. Okay. That's why I always call them first name like this. Let's actually get rid of this one because we already have first name there. I'm deleting all these. Okay. And now here I'm giving this first name capitals, uppercase letter. So we should not use this uppercase letter here, the variable name starting, because it's a convention, so that is not illegal, but it's just that we use this kind of variable names with an uppercase letter for a specific use case in JavaScript, which is called object-oriented programming, as we will see in the later in course. For now, we never do this, but instead of you should write it, let's start with the variable name as lowercase letter. Okay. Variables that are in uppercase are reserved for constant that we know we will never change. For example, the number I'm giving here, let pi equal 3.1415. So we know that here the number is never change, and so that's a constant, and for that we have a convention of writing it in all uppercase, and in VS Code actually marks this variable name with a different color because it knows about this convention that we use. Of course we could use always write like this. Okay, and then I'm going to write here. Now I'm going to show you, let my first job equal programmer, let my current job equal teacher. Okay, and now I am writing here, let job1 equal programmer, and then I am writing here, let job2 equal teacher. Okay, here in these two cases, which one is easier to understand? What programmer and teacher are in this case here are more understandable by looking simply at the variable name. So we know that my first job was a programmer and now my current job is a teacher. While down here, we should simply know these two are different jobs. We don't know anything about them. So this approach of here is a lot better in one. So always keep in mind that whenever you write your own variable names, and always actually keep all of this in mind that we should talk about for naming your variables. Okay. And that's what variables are all about. They are one of the most important things of programming. Okay, I hope that you have some clarity about values and variables in this class. We will continue the lecture on next video. Thank you.